Oh my goodness, Dennis, you make me laugh. I love it. And I do have a lot of echo, my lovely Scott, a tremendous amount. But anyway, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living East Hawaii. You are magnificent. Now Ray can't hear me. Oh, Ray can. Excellent. Yes. We're working on it. You know, the sound, it's Hawaii. You never know what the equipment's going to do. But today we've got it. So thank you, Karen. Thank you for coming back and sharing with us. We love having you here. Let's not wait so long for the next time, okay? I think I'm coming knocking on the door. So anyway, as you can see, I'm in my full beach garb. I was like, what am I going to wear today? And I'm like, yeah, it's called the Beach Fest. It's going to be happening later on, and I'm going to have to go straight from, they have to go first, then I've got to go straight from here. And I'm like, you know, I always want to get dressed up and make sure everybody, you know, we're all good. Yeah, not today. I didn't even wear my regular mana today. So I need everybody to step up with a little bit of, yeah, I like that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I want to personally welcome anybody that's new. It's lovely to see you. Some other faces that I've only seen a couple of times, and some from the past a little bit. And for all of you out there, absolutely, thank you for joining us. I want you to know that we get a lot of support from the mainland, a lot of support. We are no longer that little church on a fairly big island in the middle of the Pacific that nobody sees us, that we're right underneath them. No longer. They know who we are. They see us. They come out and visit, and they're coming out more and more and more. So we better suck it up. We're going to look good. So we are thankful to all of those out there, and thank you for supporting us. Bring it on. We love it. So this month, we have been talking about passion and purpose, a lot about passion and purpose. And, you know, we've gone through the awakening to the passion, the finding the passion, the percolating of the passion. And there's a need for it, basically, in our lives. We want to find this passion for us. It's a way of knowing us greater as the divine beings that have been created by God. We're not just little stick figures walking around. There's a passion that is living within us. And so when we go in and we want to look how to awaken it, we've delved into how we can find it. But I think the greatest message of all in this month is that idea that there is a need for us to awaken. We are being called to look and not just hide under the nothingness and go, no, I'm not good enough. Remember those words, I'm not good enough. No, within each and every one of us, there is something wonderful that is wanting to be revealed. And this is when our passion is calling us to actually live out our purpose out loud. Out loud. Bring it forward out loud. We have a wonderful quote from Judy Canato. She is an American Catholic author. She reads this. She says this. We live in a time that calls us, just like the universe, to expand, to fling ourselves out into life with creativity and zest. We are invited to be sparked by the primordial fire from which we came. We ourselves are to become flames of love that burn away fear and bring warmth to the compassion of all creation. We are being called. We are being called to seize this opportunity, to seize this day, to do it right now. And of course, you know, I've always got to throw a little humor in there. So we hear this from Irma Barmbek. She goes, seize the moment. Remember all those women on the Titanic who waved off the dessert cart? Anybody? Seize this moment. If you wave off that, oh, by the way, I did a dessert cart for last night. It was pretty good. So, but here's the idea. Don't walk away from your sweetness. Don't walk away from the opportunity to grab that beauty. Use the good china, as they say. in every opportunity. But more importantly, seize this day for your passion. Let today be the day that you open up that door and go, come on out. Let me see what it is that you want to have your way with me. Spirit wants to have its way with you. Let's see how it goes. But why don't we do this? We don't, right? Why don't we do this? Yeah, fear. I heard the fear. Fear that I am not good enough. Come on. We know, and Reverend Mark Johnson tells us all the time, you come in pre-approved. You have a pre-approved stamp right here. Bam. Right there, on the way out. Boom. It's pre-approved. We are more than enough. In fact, the biggest fear is not that we are not enough. It's that we are grand and great and magnificent. And we are magnificent in every way. Every way that we are and every way that we're not. We're magnificent. And it is this light that is being called to come forward as a passion. And the reason it's passion, it's fiery inside of you. It's to push. It's that push. It's to get you going. We don't want to keep it quiet. We don't want to keep it down. It doesn't have to be a loud passion. It just has to be done loudly. In other words, it has to be done with full confidence, and it can grow into that when you start to open it up. There's a person I think about when it comes to passion, Martin Luther King Jr., right? Ooh, there was a purpose, there was a passion. And tomorrow, actually, is the 60th anniversary of the March onto Washington, where he gave that magnificent, that soul-stirring speech that I have a dream. Magnificent. Did you see passion there? Did you see purpose? Can you imagine if he said, yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, no, I'm not good enough. No, I'm not good enough. There's Roy Wilkins. I mean, come on, there's Philip Randolph. Who am I to stand forth and speak my truth? No, I think I'm going to play it small. Maybe I'll do a little bit in the background over here. I'll do a little bit. Really? Can you imagine if he had said, I'm not good enough? Do you think that he was confident every single minute of every day? Nobody is. Nobody is. We're going to look at others around us. We're going to compare ourselves to others around us, and we're going to have those doubts about who we are, what we can do, should we do it, how should we do it, should we do it at all? Can you imagine if Martin Luther King Jr. had succumbed to those voices in his head? Can you imagine if you succumb to those voices in your head? Anybody feel like they teeter on showing their true passion? Anybody? 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 Yes. I know that it shows up in many different ways. As we discussed before, passion can look differently for different people. It can be something that you in yourself might not actually even acknowledge as a passion or as a true purpose. And a lot of that is caught up in where we look after others. We don't think that that's a big deal. We're like, oh, yeah, no. No, I'm just doing what I should do. Yeah, ding, 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 ding. That sounds like a purpose to me. That sounds like a passion to me. That sounds like something that you really want to open and let out. But the one thing we need to be careful of as well is that we mustn't make ourselves smaller when we are honoring other people. So often we have this feeling, and it goes back to that whole pie theory. If I'm too big, somebody's too small. If I have too much, they have nothing. If they have everything, I've got nothing. There's no such thing as a pie. Let's just scrap that thing. Except, of course, if it's got pecans on it, and then that's really, really good. So one of the things is being who we are doesn't let others down. Have you ever thought about that? Like, well, you know what, if I really wanted to express what I wanted to, ooh, I'm going to step on some toes over there, and, you know, maybe I won't let that person might not feel very good if I choose to do that thing as well in my own way, and I'm not just following along. Of course, we always have to be compassionate to other people's feelings, but not to stifle the love that we have to share. Right? Right? You know the word humble. When you look at the word humble in the dictionary, it doesn't sound like the way we normally use it. I'm humble, I'm feeling grateful, I'm feeling humbled by everything. No, humble means I'm putting myself below everybody else. Yeah, we're not going there because we all have magnificent stuff to share. So when you are looking at your passion and your purpose, yes, be compassionate to the people around you. Gather them with you, in fact. Carry them along. But do not stifle your love or put yourself beneath them and stifle that passion that is within you. This is a calling upon your heart. This is something that you need to do. You want to, because it's a time when you actually get to express, and who knows that when you do, all those people that you're worried about are going to come forward and join you and move together. Can you imagine if Martin Luther King Jr. was worried about those people around him that were saying no, and he decided, no, I can't do it because they say no. No, he came forward and he brought everybody with him. He brought them all with him. They walked on Washington all together. It's good to feel that. It's good to lean into that knowingness that being you, your fullest form, is as important as honoring everybody else in their perfect form. And when you step into your light, it is a lot easier to honor everybody, and it's a lot easier to raise the vibration with everybody at the same time. When you're willing to raise your own vibration, it's all going to raise with you. Sometimes you got to pull some people along, you know. You got to. Some people are not always going to go, oh yeah, I'm on board right away. They want to see results and everything. But for the most part, the vibration is going to rise. And fortunately, we have one other thing in our back pocket. It's called spirit. Anybody know spirit? Yeah. We got spirit. Spirit wants to be expressed through us. This is how spirit has its way in the world, is through us, as us. So spirit is going to want to have itself known. So fortunately, it's going to look for the teeniest little opening and go, I'm here. Come on, let me out. I want to be known as your fullest expression possible. So Dr. Ernest Holmes tells us this. It should be understood that we can demonstrate in spite of ourselves. Isn't that a good thing? No matter how much you want to fight this, spirit's going to have its way. Yeah. Eventually, it's going to break through. It has to. But we're not going to wait around for it. Okay, so he says, it should be understood that we can demonstrate in spite of ourselves, in spite of all weakness, in spite of all fear, in spite of all that is in us, because such is the power of truth. We wait only for our own awakened thought. The law is neither good nor bad. The law is, and it will respond. So here we know that just an awakened thought in us is going to pull the law to respond, and we're going to have this blossom that's going to come forward as our purpose. Now we know too that through the course of life, our purposes change. We heard Karen go through a bunch of great purposes with a great deal of passion. And we do show up. But we have to also allow the one that we wanted to keep hidden, the one that we put aside. We have to allow for that one to come up because it wants to be known. So how do we look at our purpose and go, well, gosh, I don't know if I'm good enough for that. I don't know if I can actually do that. And then my mother is sitting right over here on my shoulder saying, you can do anything you put your mind to. Anybody have that statement from your parents? Yes, I can see the hands. You can do anything you put your mind to. Sounds like science of mind to me, doesn't it? It sounds like science of mind to me. That awakened thought that Dr. Holmes speaks about, that awakened idea within us, creates what we know as we call the mental equivalent, one of my favorite topics. But herein lies the whole thing. When you are feeling like, I'm not so sure about that, I'm not good enough, I don't think so, this person's already doing it, I can't be in comparison, all these things, stop. Just stop and have a different thought. Have a different thought. Have the thought of maybe I can, or at least let me have a try. So when we get into that space and we have an awakened thought, we move in and we create that mental equivalent. And it's from that place of with a mental equivalent that spirit starts to respond to us, starts to put writers in your path wherever you go. Yeah, we spoke about the call the other day. Alyssa and I were talking about the call to ministry, the one that you hang up the phone right away. Right away, nope, not coming, not happening. You know what? Here's the thing. Like with the writers, there's going to be a knock on the door. There's going to be another knock on the door. You know what? You can run to the back bedroom and you can hide yourself in the closet, whether it's an author that's coming towards you or whether it's the phone ringing from God saying, it's time. You can do whatever you want, but there is a call on your life that wants to be known. So we can move in to this place where we have a new idea about our life, a new idea about what our purpose can be, a new idea about, I am good enough for this. And the one thing we do know is that when we speak about the abundance of the universe, the abundance of God, the abundance of Spirit continually raining down upon us, just pouring in, it's not always those green dollar bills. That doesn't happen. Oh, yeah. It's not always those. It's ideas. The currency of the divine is ideas. It rains forward on you. It pours down upon you. And therein lies the stimulus. When you awaken that thought, you open that little door and of ideas, because Spirit has just been waiting for a crack in your armor to bring in those ideas so that you can be that wonderful, magnificent expression that you were called to be, that you were created to be. Expressing your purpose and your passion. Dr. Ernest Holmes says, there is nothing from which to make things except ideas. In the beginning, we behold nothing that's visible. There's only an infinite possibility, a limitless imagination, and a consciousness. I'm going to read that one more time. There is nothing from which to make things except ideas. In the beginning, we behold nothing visible. There is only an infinite possibility, a limitless imagination, and a consciousness. So here we go. There's nothing but ideas. Look around you, feel it around you. We know it is everywhere, just waiting for you to say yes. Waiting for you to open up that crack to allow Spirit to ignite the magnificence in you that you are, to bring you from that back room in the closet. Come on out, come on out. I'm knocking on the door. Allow. Do not stop yourself. And I love what Dr. Holmes says. No, actually, I think it was Stephen. Get my bloated nothingness out of the way. Emerson, thank you. Get my bloated nothingness out of the way. I love that statement. Bring in, allow that passion to be ignited in you. Allow your imagination to run wild. Step into being that best, magnificent self you can be so that you can ride the wave. Because what we don't know is that as we lift, there is more to be known. That's exciting. That unknown of a lifted vibration is the most exciting place to be because you know it's going to be brilliant every step of the way. It's going to be brilliant. Even when things don't go right, it's still going to be brilliant. So that is the invitation to each and every one of you, is to allow yourselves to have that crack wide open, to when you hear the knock go, oh my God, here we go again. To pick up the phone and go, I'm not coming yet, but I am thinking about it. That's a good way to answer the call to ministry or to anything else. If you're not quite ready, it's okay. But you've got to begin. You've got to begin by moving your feet, gaining some information, allowing yourself to start blossoming. Gather people around you that have a similar interest. Listen. Go to classes. Read, write, sing, create. This is the joy that God wants to have through each and every one of you. And I can see it. This is the joy of my life, is I see the potentiality in each and every single one of you. The love that you have already and the love that you can have and the vibrations, it's forever and ever moving and cycling upwards. There is no stop. Ever. You can try and hide. It ain't going to work. So, with that in mind, here's going to come the blatant promo for today. In the first Thursday in October, I will be beginning a class that is called The Art of Being Yourself. Yes. It is based, I wrote the curriculum myself on a book by Frank Richelieu. He's a well-known science of mind. He was one of Dr. Holmes's friends. And so, yes, I got the book at the Sillamar, and the day I picked it up, I sat down with a pen and started writing curriculum, and I was like, yes, I'm full again. I can feel that beautiful feeling. There's my passion. There's my purpose, you know, and it's very clear. Do I love cooking? Yes, I do. Do I love dancing? Absolutely. Do I love feeding people? These are passions and purposes. But when it comes down to it, I think my greatest passion, my greatest purpose is to teach. So we're going to be having that class. It's going to be a 6-week class. There'll be more information about signing up and getting in on it. But here's the thing that we want to do as we're moving forward to that, is always to be aware of how you are blossoming, how your passion is coming forward. And be gentle. You don't necessarily have to push hard. Just be gentle in the allowing and the awareness of how magnificent, don't forget those words, how magnificent you are. So I'm going to close with a little piece by my favorite author, Mark Nepo, of course. It's called The Pain of Becoming. The simple rose at each moment of its slow blossoming is as open as it can be. The same is true for our lives. In each stage of our unfolding, we are stretched as possible. For the human heart is quite slow to blossom and is only seen as lacking when compared to the imagined lover or father or mother we would like to become. It helps to see ourselves as flowers. If a flower were to push itself to open faster, which it can't, it would tear. Yet we humans can and often do push ourselves. Often we tear in places no one can see. When we push ourselves to unfold faster or more deeply than is natural, we thwart ourselves. For nature takes time. and most of our problems will stem from impatience. Perhaps one of the hardest remedies to accept for our pain is becoming. Is that wherever we are on our path, no matter how flawed or incomplete, is a blossoming unto itself. So it is. All right. So let's take this to prayer. So we breathe into this moment right here, right now, recognizing the magnificence and wonderment of the divine that is in, through, and as each and every one of us. There is nowhere and nothing that is not being created by this magnificent energy. And it is filled up and overflowing by Source's love, for it is just pouring forth limitlessly over and over and over again. And so we open our hearts and minds to receive what the divine is pouring forth on us, recognizing and knowing that if the divine is pouring, we must be able to receive. We must be good enough to receive. And when we look up and we see that the faucet is never closed, we get to open up fully. We get to just say, yes, I am ready to receive. I'm ready to receive all that there is that is known for me. I'm ready to take this. I'm ready to walk out my purpose through the wonderful passion that is ignited by the fire of Spirit within. So I call that good. And I know for each one of us as we walk our path this week that there is going to be a place and a time when you can stop and say, oh, wow, this is it. This is it for right in this minute. This is it. I'm going to step in a little further. I'm going to open up a little wider. I'm going to receive a little bit more. For this is the divine in action, in, through, and as me. And it is in that time that we blossom into our beautiful purpose. We blossom in with our full passion, for it is the divine as us right here, right now, and I call it good. So with so much gratitude for all that has been coming about in all of our lives, it is just here where we say thank you. So I just release this prayer knowing that Spirit has said yes. Yes, my beloveds, you've set your intentions, you're expressing your desires, you're opening yourselves up for even more, and the divine has said yes, 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 yes. So we claim this in full voice as we say, and so it is. Thank you.